Thank you.
To Ukraine now, where the Ukrainian army says hundreds of Russian soldiers were killed in a school being used as a base in the eastern region of Donetsk on New Year's Eve. Russian state media say the facility in the occupied town of Makiivka was hit by Ukraine using rockets supplied by the United States. Let's talk now to Hugo Bachega, who is in Kyiv, where obviously it's getting dusky already. Are people preparing for another night of bombardment in the city?
Well, Sean, I think this is the fear here after 4 days of attacks by Russian forces targeting this city. But I think you mentioned that this attack in Donetsk, and the Russian Defense Ministry has confirmed that 63 Russian soldiers were killed after this Ukrainian attack targeting this facility in the occupied town of Makiivka in the eastern Donetsk region. And the Russians are saying that this facility, a school that was being used by Russian forces as a base, was hit by HIMARS missiles, those missiles that have been provided by the Americans to Ukraine. And this attack happened on New Year's Eve. And this number 63 is a very different number from the one that has been released, given by the Ukrainian authorities. The army here say that 400 Russian soldiers were killed, 300 wounded after this attack. Obviously, we can't independently verify these numbers, but again, now the Russians confirming that a facility that was being used as a Russian base in Donetsk has been attacked by Ukraine, and they have confirmed that 63 Russian soldiers have been killed.
Is there a claim of responsibility for this from the Ukrainian authorities? Are they saying anything about this incident?
Yeah, so the Ukrainians have said, and it's very interesting, that 400 people were killed there in this town, occupied town of Makiivka, but they haven't officially claimed responsibility. This has been part of the strategy here. The Ukrainians rarely comment on attacks carried out against Russian positions, but now the Russians have confirmed that this base was hit by those HIMARS missiles that the Ukrainians have been using for quite some time now to target Russian positions. And again, the Russians are now confirming that 63 of their soldiers have been killed as a result of this attack that happened on New Year's Eve in the eastern Donetsk region of Ukraine.
Hugo Bachega in the capital, thank you very much. We'll stay in the capital now and talk to Denis Ganja, who's a resident there, who joins us. He's also Ukraine's youth delegate to the United Nations. Denis, thank you very much for being with us. How would you describe the last few days in the capital?
Of course, they were, really a beginning of the new year, because Russians have continued their barbaric attacks on Kyiv, and they were aiming to totally destroy our energy infrastructure. They have sent more than 40 drones just this night, and they have sent lots of drones in the New Year's night. Of course, it was hard. And, right now, Kyiv sometimes reminds you of the real front line. But no matter what, we are still here, we are fighting, and we have managed to have a small celebration.
And was it possible for people within the limitations to find a way to celebrate? Indeed, do people feel they have much to celebrate in the passing of the old year into the new?
Our celebration was the answer to Russians that no matter what, we are still having a normal life, and you will not reach us and you will not make us suffer inside. And thanks to our electricity and thanks to our government, we still had, the light on the table. We have it for several days, actually, and Russians have not reached their targets. They have not attacked, they have only reached one energetic object in Ukraine, in Kyiv, and most of the drones, most of the air targets were hit with the use of NASAMS, IRIS-T, and Patriots.
You say your kind of message is delivered by the fact you went ahead with the celebrations as normal, but I suppose what's normal is what's changed over the last nearly a year now, isn't it? That your definition of normality has had to change because of the invasion and because of the ongoing war.
It has totally changed for us. And first of all, of course, now we have more empty chairs around our tables because we have lost lots of people. Lots of my friends and lots of Ukrainians have met the new year in the front lines or in the occupied territories. And of course, it's hard for us, you can't feel the real big joy in these days. And still, usually the 2nd of January will still be a holiday, will still be a vacation day for most of the people. They will go abroad to celebrate, they will go to some ski resorts, but we are working today. And this is what has changed a lot for us, that we do understand that every day matters. We need to work, we need to fight on every front line to make sure that we achieve victory this year.
Denis Ganja in Kyiv, thank you very much for talking to us. I hope the new year at least gets better. Thank you.
Thank you.